A few weeks back, we discussed the role of brakes in making your car safer, especially this rainy season. Today, it's a turn of tires. Like brakes, tires are often misunderstood. Typically, they're described as minsan pang porma, madalas nandyan lang. In other words, car owners perfectly know they have a tire in each corner of their car. But what do they do? What do they contribute? And how do you take care of them? So we're here at Bridgestone Tire Center in Pasong Tamo, Makati to talk about the 4 black donuts that help keep your car pointed in the right direction. And joining me this morning is Benjamin Young, the Vice President of Sales for Bridgestone Philippines. So my first question is, what are tires made of?
Contrary to popular belief, it's not just rubber. It's actually a mix of natural and synthetic rubber. You have some steel, synthetic fibers, carbon black, and silica. Different tires have different compounds, so you have differing percentages for different models.
And what kind of role does it actually play in a car?
The first role of a tire is it's a load-bearing part of your car. The tires is what carries the car, yourself, and of course everything in the car. Number 2 is it makes your car stop and go. So when you brake and when you transmit power to the road, this is what the tires are for. Lastly, it's for steering. With good tires, you can have good steering.
How would I actually know when it's time to replace my tire?
Actually, with all tires, the first step is to check for the tread depth indicator. You usually have this marker on the side of the tire, which shows the time that you have to replace it. So if it goes below the line, you have to replace it. Aside from that, you have to check for obvious signs of damage like cracks, bulges, piercings. You have to do this on a at least weekly basis, just to make sure that you're safe.
So a common problem nowadays is that you suffer a puncture in your tire. So how would we know if it's actually safe to still vulcanize?
Actually, there are a lot of factors that play in when you're repairing a tire. But as a golden rule, you have to check if the nail hole or the puncture is a 1/4 inch or more. If it's more than a 1/4 inch, it's most likely not repairable. Number 2 is you have to check for old repairs. If it's been repaired before, it's not advisable to repair it again. So just to be sure, once you see these damages and you're not sure about it, you should bring it to an authorized Bridgestone service center. So the mechanics can more or less advise you on what to do next.
So of course, the next thing you know, if for example you've suffered a puncture and it can't be repaired, pag nagtitipid ka, you might want to replace 1 tire at a time. Is this actually a safe thing to do?
The safest way to go about it is to replace 2 tires or the whole set at once. And contrary to popular belief, you should replace the rear tires instead of the front tires. This is to avoid oversteer, and oversteering leads to spinouts. So the next time you buy tires, 2 tires, remember to replace the rear tires first, just to be safe.
So one thing you can say about Bridgestone is that it's got a wide array of tires. I mean, you have the Potenza, Turanza, Ecopia. How do I know which tire to select?
First of all, what we should check is the size. That's a common knowledge. You should follow the original spec of your tire. Number 2, you should fit the tire model to your lifestyle. Say, if I live in the province and the roads are a bit bad, you should select the dualer line. If I live in the metro and I go to the office, I should select either the Turanza or the Ecopia. If I'm a bit of a sports driver and take my car to the track on weekends, then there's the Potenza. So different tires cater to different lifestyles. But mostly, if you have questions, again, refer to the original spec.
So for example, I just invested in a new set of Bridgestone tires. How do I properly care for them?
First thing you should check is for inflation pressure. You can open your car door and you see a sticker from the manufacturer that indicates the proper inflation pressure, so you should follow that. Number 2 is you should always rotate your tires every 5,000 kilometers. This is to make sure that the wear on the tires is equal for each other. Number 3, you should always have wheel alignment. Again, this makes sure that the wear on your tire is equal and it runs equal to the road. And number 4, you should do a visual check for damages, for bulge, cracks, or punctures. If you do this on a monthly basis, it will make sure that your tire will last you a couple of years at least.
So Benjamin, any final words to the audience?
I just want to stress about safety. Tires are a small investment with big benefits. If we spend money on healthcare and insurance, this is the same thing. So I'd recommend that you upgrade to Bridgestone tires. An upgrade to Bridgestone tires is a safety upgrade. Please check out our promos at Bridgestone Philippines at Facebook. We have a 3+1 rainy days promo, so I hope you guys check it out.
Well, there you have it. I hope we were able to demystify the role of tires in your car. As you rightfully found out, they are integral to improving your car's safety. A little knowledge goes a long way in making you a safer, more confident driver. Personally, I think the takeaway here is to invest in quality rubber because they can prevent unwanted accidents. I'd like to thank our special resource person, Benjamin Young, for helping us today, and of course, Bridgestone Tire Center in Pasong Tamo, Makati for hosting us. If you have any automotive-related questions or want to see what I'm up to, feel free to follow me on Twitter or Instagram at CarGuidePH. This is Ulysses Ang for Wheels TV.
Head form test. Take one. 1, 2, 3.